I'll be your prime minister, don't worry. I'll fix Australia once and for all. Not Australia, but Parliament, the government. Sack them all, bring new blood. That's it, finished. I've said it, I'll bring all the boys with tattoos. The best. You know why they're the best? Because what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. When they say we love you in your face, behind your back, they love you. When they say we hate you in your face, behind your back, they hate you. Not like these dressed up well in suits. They say we love you in your face and behind your back, they're plotting against you. Get a life. We don't want cowards. We want real men. So those boys with the tattoos are the real men. Sorry, it just come naturally, man. I love you, brother. But you are a real man. There you go. Give me a high five, bro. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Put your hands together. Man, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Here's my deputy prime minister now. So when it comes to love, you need to choose something that you love to buy, and you need money to buy it. Now the king's image is imprinted on the currency. Why? Because the king owns the country and everything in it. Now God in his nature is king. He is the king of all kings and the Lord of all lords. So God in his nature is the rightful owner of the country, and everything is in that country. So the currency of God is you, the human being. That's why he placed his image on you, the only currency that God deals with and recognizes and acknowledges. You are my son. The ultimate of creations, the crown of creation, is the human being. God says, the only thing is, for my house to be seen as my house, the love has to be given to me, not to you. So the Lord here is addressing church leaders, more so the faithfuls. He is addressing church leaders, someone like me, more than the followers. Why? Because the Lord is saying, for a church leader to be found successful in their role, they need to make sure that the faithfuls love God, not him. A leader that makes people love him instead of God is a failure. He has stolen God's love from the Father and applied it to himself. Do church leaders attempt such an evil act sometimes? Yes. How do leaders make the faithfuls love them instead of God? Well, this poor person comes to a priest, no, not a priest, bishop and above, like me. We'll leave the priest alone. They are good men. He will come to someone like me, a bishop and above. He will say, I really want you to do this for me, but I think God doesn't allow it. And then I turn around and say, have you forgotten God gave the keys to me? And he went up. So I've got the keys. Whatever I tie on earth shall be tied in heaven. Whatever I loosen on earth shall be loosened in heaven. So guess what? I've got the keys. Don't worry, I'll fix it up for you. But pass me something under the table. That person came out of the church saying, the bishop is nicer than God to me. He ended up loving me, not loving God. Wow. What happened in the house of the Lord? buying and selling. We traded. We traded using the name love. Like, well, it's not a shock for the world to trade in the name of love, because that's what the world is all about. Lies after lies after lies. But for this to happen in the house of the Lord, now, case, it's closed. In the name of love, you have to accept everyone. In the name of love, you have to accept everything. In the name of love, you cannot say anything, otherwise you are judgmental, discriminative. In the name of love, you can go out naked, you can do whatever in the name of love. Even if you want to be an animal, you can be one in the name of love. Well, I just wonder, what kind of a love is this, if there is any love in the first place? Well, since it's the world, there is no love. But in the house of the Lord, in the church, there has to be love found in it. Otherwise, it cannot be a church. But this love has to be given to God the Father, not to you or me. When you come to church, you need to love God, not me. But you need to love me through God. Outside of God, there is no point, neither me loving you nor you loving me, because my love for you outside of Christ is a lie. It's a lie. We are now trading. We are buying and selling. I don't love you when I allow you to do something that is offensive to God in the name of love. Then run away from me. I have no love for you. I have love for myself. That's why I did it, to gain your love for me. I want to be loved, not God. I've used the rank, the position, the throne to be loved by people because I became Mr. Nice Guy. God is not nice after all. He doesn't do what I want, but the bishop did what I want. So I love the bishop more than God. We've stolen the love from our Heavenly Father and gave it to our own selves. Well, since the king's image is on the coin, then that coin belongs to the king. Since God's image is imprinted on us, then we belong to him, not to ourselves, not to anyone else. He is the rightful owner. So who has the right to do whatever he wants with his currency? The king. Christ has the right to do whatever he wishes with every single one of us. When is love tested? You know, when the couple stand on that big day called wedding? Will you take her in good times and bad times, in sickness and in health, in richness and in poorness? Will you? Yes, Father. And you, my daughter? Yes, Father. When he is sick, will you take him? When he is poor, will you take him? Well, Father, I married him because he was rich. Now that he's bankrupt, well, that was the contract. Now the contract lapses. He is in breach. He is poor. What shall I do with him? Now he's crippled. What shall I do with him? When is love tested? In difficult times. In difficult times. Not in good times. How will the Lord test us? How will the Lord test us to see if we love him or we love the place, not the owner? He'll just simply take away the place from us. Now, Bishop, I'm going to see if you love me. I gave you a position. I gave you a big church. And I gave you a massive place. But then now I'm going to allow them to kick you out of the church and throw you in the street. Will you still love me? I've taken that place from you, which I gave in the first place. But you see, it's not them who took it away. It is I just simply testing you. Is your love going to remain the same when I give you a high place or I give you a low place? Are you gonna still love me when I put you on this throne or put you at the gutter? Are you still going to love me when I give you heaven and I throw you in hell? Are you still going to love me? You see, I don't want people to love me for what I do for them. I want people to love me for me, nothing else. Now, whether I give you, whether I don't, whether I make you or break you, whether I lift you or put you down, if you truly have love in your heart, then you will love me in good times and bad times, in sickness and in health, in richness and in poorness. And when you truly love me, then you'll have to love me for the Good Friday and the Sunday resurrection. Not just the Sunday resurrection, but you need to love me for the Good Friday. Are you willing to suffer for me? Are you willing to be dragged, spat on, kicked, punched, ridiculed? Are you willing to be whipped? Are you willing to be persecuted? Are you willing to be crucified? Are you? Now guess what? If you're willing to accept all this and still love me, rest assured, Sunday resurrection is coming. You don't need to ask for glory, I'll give it. You don't need to ask for life, I've given it. You don't need to ask for exaltation, I've given it. You don't need to ask for honor, I've given it. I've given it all, because when I tested your love for me in bad times, definitely you will love me in good times. If you're able to love me when I'm poor, you will definitely love me when I am the rightful owner of heaven and earth. You see, if we love one another in the hardships, we definitely love one another in the easy ways and the good times.